I'm gonna punch it up. Able to lift that no problem. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. Today we are reviewing the Aeroo Pro drone. This is a big guy, heavy lift drone with a drop mechanism specifically mainly made for fishing. Can do, 4K video and pictures. These guys are based in Australia. So this guy here is the Pro version. We're gonna unbox it in this video, get everything out of the box, set it up, and see how the Aeroo Pro does in a flight test, updating, all that stuff, and just see what it's all about. Let's get started with the Aeroo Pro. All right guys, here we go. My first time opening this box. I really have no idea what to expect, but it does look like we have a nice case. Now keep in mind guys, this drone is not waterproof. It does do heavy lifting and has a drop mechanism, but there is no waterproofness to this drone. Maybe it'll survive a light rain according to the company Aeroo I asked, but there is no waterproofness to this. Like, the Swell Pro has that kind of waterproof drone stuff. There's actually another drone as well I'm going to be reviewing in this category as well. So keep an eye out for that and subscribe so you don't miss it. So check it out. Here's our case. Excellent case. We have a zipper and some mesh on top. Let's see what we have in here first before we bust into everything. Very interesting. Wow. Okay, so this is kind of a waterproof bag. Ooh, a drone launch pad. That's cool. We have a FAA registration card and the user manual. So we'll just flip through this really quick. A little bit of color in it, not much, mostly black and white, but it looks like it goes through everything. So this looks like one of those basic ones. Oh wow, actually it's got stickers, little stakes. Is that 3 or 4 stakes? 3 stakes, little red sticker reflectors. Here is the actual launch pad. It's just like one of those spring open launch pads. Wow, very cool. White on one side and black on the other. And then obviously these things, the way you put them away, you just kind of twist and turn them into themselves. And that's it. Put them back in the bag. Carry that around in the case and we'll have a launch pad. Usually these drones nowadays, they have some kind of algorithm that they can detect specific launch pads. We got some more stuff in this bag. One more little bag here. Kind of a neat type of black they're going for here. Black and white. And check all this stuff out, guys. We've got, ooh, this is like a fishing, like a steel twine, stainless steel twine that's encapsulated with plastic. Wow, yeah, we have all these little things, so that's great. 3 little rings, kind of like the rings you would find on your keychain. I actually have quite a few of these clips. We've got 6 of these, just all different ways to attach stuff. So it seems like they're taking care of you and all you got to bring is your fishing pole, your existing fishing stuff, and they provide everything you need to connect it to the drone for the release mechanism. Awesome. So I'm going to slide this in here. Check it out. Bunch of pockets here. We've got 3 pockets. One of them has Velcro, 2 of them don't. The center one has the Velcro. And let's see what we have in this bag here. Screwdriver, so that's a little mini Phillips. We've got extra propellers, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that looks like it would be enough for 2 motors, as you can see here. Each motor has 2 propellers. So at least we have, oh, there's another one there. So a full set. So that's a total of 8 propellers. We have A and B rotating propellers right here. So we can put those on if they get nicked up. And then we've got our USB cables, probably to our phone. We have a USB-C to C and then an iPhone to C. Okay. And then a little clip to help you out. And it looks like some stickers. Would have been neat if they all kind of had Velcro, right? Because it looks like they might slide out here. But anywho, that's what we're getting. flipping it over, and wow, there's the drone. This is like neoprene wetsuit material. This is like several millimeters thick as well. So high durability packaging here. Awesome. Here's the drone we're going to get to in just a second. I just wanted to open up the boxes around it first. Let's open this one up real quick. We have a power cable that we're going to plug into our wall. This is our power brick. Very cool. There's the end that's going to go into a charger. And here is the charger. Cool, look at that. The 4 connections, so we can put 4 batteries on there, plug that power brick into here, and then what's cool about this one is it has an output of USB as well, so we can probably charge our controller. Another box right here. Let's see what this is. Yep, there's our USB A to C, probably to charge this controller. That's right down here. We'll get into there in a second. And a strap, which looks like it's for this bag. You see these little things on the sides? It has little D-rings here, so it looks like we're going to be able to carry this on our shoulder if we wanted to use it like that. Awesome. So let's get into the meat of it, guys. I have 1 battery on the drone here, already installed. I have 1 battery over here. This Pro Edition right here just comes with 2 batteries. And that's how you're taking the battery in and out of the drone. Very cool. It's got these side clips. And there's our power indicator there. Looks like it's fully charged. Wow, I've had this here for a couple months and it's still fully charged. So we know that the batteries are pretty good. Really interesting cooling on top. Here's the controller. Look at this thing. Interesting. Antennas, just pulling up the antennas here. FN and S modes. I'll have to check out the instructions on that. Our power, return to home button. Sticks, you know, a little plasticky, but as long as they work, not too worried about it. Looks like you can unscrew these if you want to. Our 2 antennas, these are our rotation maximums here, all the way back. And then we can actually twist them, it looks like about 180 degrees, fold down and lock into place, just like other drones. Little snap right there. On the top, we have record, camera. Ooh, that's the drop mechanism. It's got a little anchor deal here. That's kind of neat. And then this is going to be our gimbal camera up and down. It just goes maybe about a ½ an inch and stops and springs back. Lots of ventilation here all around it. Not really any rubber on here. It might have been neat if they put some rubber on for grip like other drones have. USB-C port here on the right side. Nothing else on the left, but the whole bottom of the controller slides out, and that is cool. That looks like it's going to take a pretty big phone. If you did want to take the sticks off, they can fit right in here. Let's do that really quick. And let me just put a stick in here. Yeah, so if you did want it to be super compact, put this in your pocket. There is little rubber holders for your sticks. I like the little stick indentations there, so you don't have to take the sticks out if you don't want to. Leave it in the case and it'll just plop right down there. Let's bust out the drone for the first time. Wow, look at this thing. This thing is hefty, man. So no folding arms here. Check this thing out, guys. So let's take a look at the bottom of this drone. So we have sensors. This is likely laser sensors for the ground. There is, looks like an optical flow camera here. Cooling fan, cooling vents all the way around the bottom. This thing is very hefty. So there are 2 little eye looking things on the front. So we just want to pull this gimbal cover off. There's the gimbal cover. Small little camera with a little protector. Let's see if we can't take off that sensor glass protector there. There we go. So it doesn't look like this is going to be anything special. It doesn't look like a very high-end camera. So a camera drone, this is probably not. This is purposely mainly built for dropping baits and other stuff. This little slit is the drop mechanism right there. And we may have to use those special clips that they gave us in that other package. Again, not collapsible. We have some venting on the sides. There are some, looks like plugins here. Let's just pop these out. That looks like it's just a blank slot on that side. Let's pop this out and have a look here. Right there, micro SD card slot under that rubber cover. So it keeps it somewhat, you know, dust proof and maybe a little bit of rain, like I was saying. This is kind of interesting. It has like a flat black look to it. I keep thinking that there's a film on these, but I'm not gonna try to get that off. Kind of mesh vents here on the back as well, and on the sides. So all that air is flowing through the front, it looks like here, and just venting out the sides like other drones do. But you can see this thing is pretty incognito. It's all black, very good looking. Taking that battery out again, we do have mesh here, so that air is cooling. Looks like it's coming through the entire battery. We have cooling all through the bottom here and the back, a huge amount of vents. And then that's just where a battery is going to link up on our contacts. So very simple, but also very durable looking. Pop that battery back in, really easy to snap in. Let's get this thing charged up, and I want to boot this thing up, get the app on my phone, on the controller, the screen looks, how the app looks, and if it needs any updates and what that's all about. All right, guys, that took about, I want to say, an hour to charge these two batteries on the multi-charger. Unfortunately, it's not charging the controller at the same time of the batteries. You just plug the controller in right here. If you're going to use the USB port that's on their charger, it seems like it charges the batteries first, one at a time, unfortunately, and then it switches over and charges the controller. So if you wanted to charge everything at once, looks like you're out of luck with the batteries, unless you possibly put one in the drone and charge it in the drone and have one on the charger. And then you're probably going to want to plug in to a separate USB port to charge your controller. So always little things, right? Let's go ahead and put an SD card in this bad boy and get them ready for flight. And this is another thing, a little bit of a negative here. It's super hard to open up these plugs here, these plastic plugs. It's almost like they're meant to be waterproof, but this drone is not waterproof, so I'm not sure why they chose to make these things so hard to open. So you kind of have to use that tool. I tried using my fingernail, so hopefully maybe they can update that to an easier time. And it looks like that's why they include these stickers, because they're the same plugs on both sides of it, and people are probably getting confused on which one is for the memory card. So I'm going to actually take off one of these stickers right now and put it on the memory card side. I'm just going to put it right above the port here. At least just a quick glance, I know which one is the memory port. So I'm putting a 64 gig in here, push and click it in and out. So not too bad, but I can see when you're trying to take it out, that's why they give you these little tweezers, which are already bent because I had to use them to open up the plug to get to these guys. So I'm gonna bend them back, and that looks like it could possibly help you take that out. Yeah, there we go. So just finding the little things that I hope that Aeroo can improve on, just to make it a little bit easier all the way around. I'm not sure if it matters, but they do have this marked as transmitter and phone. We're going to be putting it face down, plugging it in here, opening the bottom. Then it has this little groove. It's almost like a Xeno controller. And I always like to see if you can store it with the cable in and see if we can kind of shut it. And we can leave it plugged in, put it in our bag there, and leave everything connected so you don't have to keep unplugging things. This is the Google Pixel 9a, so I just wanted to see how it fits in with this little slimline case here, and just see if you can use a case without it hitting a bunch of buttons and stuff. And it seems like that's fitting in like really well. It's all kind of tight in there, and then obviously that's gonna plug in right here. So I'm just in the Android App Store here. Obviously, if you have Apple, go to the Apple App Store, and we're gonna search for the Aeroo drone, Aeroo Fly app. Yep, so same logo right there. It's a 137 megabyte file. Let's go ahead and start a screen record, guys, so you guys can see what's happening So initial startup for the Aeroo Fly app, terms of service. You can read all this stuff. I'm just going to agree to it. Photo permission, location permissions. All right, you got to accept all this stuff in order for everything to work correctly. Location while using app precise. Music and audio on this device. Let's just allow photos and videos so it can store. I'm just going to allow all. And here we go. So we can log in or create an account. So I don't have an account yet. So I'm going to go ahead and click register right up here at the top, make an email, password, and they're going to send me a verification code. All right, we got flying tips here. You can read through this if you want. Pre-flight checks, just your basic flight stuff you should already know if you're going to fly a drone. Here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and power this guy on and see how it actually powers up. There we go. You do have to click and hold from the battery. Let's check out that camera real quick. Just immediately went down and up. So click and hold. That was very easy and familiar. Let's plug in the controller. Looks like it connected. These were flashing. Now they're solid on the controller. Open Aeroo Fly to handle remote. Yep, always open it when it's plugged in because that's all we're going to be doing with this controller. Activate the aircraft. Next, email that you're registered with, and it looks like we're going to need to use that to activate. Okay, last chance to buy Aeroo Protect. So it looks like they're doing kind of a protection like DJI does with their drones. You can learn more or no thanks. Aircraft has been activated successfully. Okay, into flight. Getting started tips here. We have current battery is now activated. New firmware available. So I have this pop up right away on the screen, guys, of new firmware. So that just actually went away and I have this screen here. Everything's connected. I'm going to click out of that again. That's kind of our splash setup screen. Let's update this thing. I always like to go through an initial update just to show you guys how each drone updates. Lower right corner, download files here and see how it goes. Downloaded that super quick and we're just going to click update. Even though this is a new drone for a new company, I am liking how we're updating wirelessly. See, I don't have any cables connected to the drone. We have a little meter here, 27%. Hearing the drone reboot. Actually, the fan went off. That's what I'm hearing. And let's just see what happens here, guys. It's probably flashing firmware and stuff. And this is where you just really want to relax and just wait till these things are complete. You don't want to mess with anything right now, and because you could brick your drone, you know, basically mess up the software upgrade and then it would never work again. So there's our reboot, 99%, 100% on the app. And let's see what else happens. Update complete, splash screen, awesome. Please manually restart the drone before use. Okay, I'm gonna hit complete. So it looks like it has to activate each battery. So when I put in another battery, looks like it's going to be activated, so I'm pressing activation. It seemed like it already had done that, but maybe with the update. There we go. It notices my phone is low on battery. So here we have the getting started screen, just a bunch of warnings. I'm just sliding to the right. Joystick controls, basic here. Abnormal compass reading. Please move the drone and or recalibrate the compass. Oh no. I'm just going to press learning complete. Okay, so this is the walkthrough over the screen. I can see the video coming through there. GPS signal. So we just have a little walkthrough here. Camera settings. Switch between photo and video. So very similar to other drones. Gimbal horizon correction. Interesting. More functions. Camera tilt angle. Zoom magnification level. Boy, that one got super tiny. What's up with that? I can't even read that. Map orientation. Looks like they need to do some updating maybe on the app. Auto takeoff, landing, return. Smart modes menu. This is great. And then we can go ahead and expand this up here on the top right and we can choose what kind of map we want. This is great. So the map looks really nice. It is accurate. That's where we're at right now. It's showing the controller, phone, and the drone. Cool. And then we can go back to our video and then we can have just a little map on the bottom here, or we can go back to our compass. just almost exactly like drones like DJI and stuff. So awesome up there. I'm seeing 16 satellites on the top right up there. It's all looking good. I'm going to try the gimbal rotation by just moving this roller right here up and down. So that's how slow it's going down by default. Up and down there. Looks like you can't go above horizon as it is stock right now. Not let you go any higher with the camera. I'm going to go to Imperial, but here's all the things you can choose. Aircraft model. Let's do a start calibration. Okay, this is what I was looking for. So you see how this is still yellow and red here. I'm going to press start calibration, and at least it's giving us a little bit of information on the screen on what to do. It's funny because the drone's spinning the other way, but the arrows are pointing this way. So I'm just going to keep doing this until it goes away, I guess. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay, just got to do it a few times. That's funny how the arrow is pointing the opposite way of what the drone is pointing. I'm just going to keep doing this until it goes away. Old school, guys. So there was the calibration. Optical flow state, poor. So hopefully that doesn't make us crash. Let's do some zooming. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Not an entirely great camera, but at least you can zoom digitally up to 6 times. There we go. RID is ready. So it looked like it just needed that reboot. You can see there up there on the top left of the screen that was ready to go. So I think we're good to go. Let's go back in the settings here. Return to home altitude. Boy, I thought I had chosen Imperial, but it's still showing meters. I like to have that around 100 feet. So I'm going to put it maybe around 40 meters just to be safe. AI search for landing pad, cool. Remember we got the landing pad right over there. I'm gonna set that up in just a second when we launch. High wind mode, when turned on, the aircraft will tilt more. If you're fighting some wind and it's not moving, you might wanna turn that on, okay guys? Height above ground below the aircraft, interesting. I wanna have that on. Release payload if the aircraft is disconnected. So this is interesting. You're gonna have to figure out when you lose connection, if you fly too far or whatever, do you want it just to drop before it comes home or not? So you can see this menu on the left. We have aircraft, here's controls, disconnected behavior. Yes, I want it to return in this instance because get it out there. I want it to return home if it disconnects. Payload stability mode, okay. I'm gonna turn that off for now because we don't have any payload on it. FPV settings, guys, HD mode or smooth mode. You want a clear picture on your phone, or do you want it smoother, less jittery? There you go. FPV low latency mode. So you have a few options here you can turn off and on. There's our gimbal. Pitch speed, remember it was super slow. You can always restore it to default, which is 5 right there. Let's just go to 10 for now. Advanced calibration, advanced settings. Allow upward gimbal rotation. Okay, here we go. There you go. Remember, you couldn't do it out of the box. Now you can if you switch that on and rotate the gimbal higher. Let's go to map. Cool. Satellite mix or standard. You know, you can have roads, standard or satellite with roads. That's all we can do in the map. Smart battery. It's reading all the cells. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6-cell battery, guys. 24.4 volts on that bad boy. Lots of information here. That's awesome. 6-cell battery. This is going to give us some power, and that's what you need when you're lifting stuff. Let's click more here. Remaining times available for struggling mode. Interesting. So it's almost like you can really take this battery down 3 times. I don't know what it's going to do after that. All right. Anyway, general purpose. Adjust font size. Let's bring that up a little bit. I'm going to bring it all the way up to 10. Easier to see. Well, only some of the fonts changed though, unfortunately. Let's go to 5. Yeah, that's a little better. But it doesn't do them all. It's just like some of the font on the screen is getting larger. We got our versions here. We can check for updates. I like how you can force checking. That's good. Wow, the controller didn't even have an update yet. Okay. So just the drone and the battery. And that looks like it's it, guys. So I'm going to click out of here. If I'm clicking on the JPEG file, it looks like we can't change that. We can change the EV. Right now it's automatic, but we can change that if we want to. But nothing else I'm clicking on is giving us any information. If we go manual, we can do manual stuff though. Look at that. We can adjust the ISO. all that kind of stuff. So right now it's just like blasted out because it's in manual mode. So I like to do auto. I'm just gonna leave it in auto. Anyway, enough talking about it. Let's go fly it. All right, guys, first things first, let's get this thing set up. White on black or black on white. I guess it depends on the surface. Hopefully it can detect both variations. We're just gonna put it right here on the dirt. There's a little bit of breeze today. Seems like around 10, swirling around. We're also gonna see kind of what the accuracy is, right? All right, that shouldn't go anywhere. We're just gonna fly it for now and see how it does in its normal flight mode. Get the camera and the video and all that up and see how everything goes in some wind. And then stay tuned, because the next battery we put in, we're gonna do some flight attachments and see how all this works. Oh, this has a Find My Drone flight logs too. Up there on the top right, I just clicked on those 3 little dots. That's promising. And we can go into our gallery from this splash screen as well. So let's enter device here and get ready for our first flight. RID is now ready. Yay! We want to go into, let's just do a snapshot photo here. I'll have the pop up on the screen as I'm doing things. I want to go back to video. Oh, there is our status list. And I'm going to start video here, just doing it this time by touching on the screen. All right, confirmation beep there. Let's launch. So, do we have enough satellites? 24 satellites up there, kind of hard to see on the top right. Let me bring the camera down so you can see that in the grass. Now we can rotate our camera higher. Look at this. Not by much though. Geez, that was only like a few degrees higher than stock. Let's just press on takeoff here. Are you sure? First flight, guys. Here we go. Yes.
High altitude. Please fly with caution.
High altitude.
Please be mindful of the new return time.
Okay, I just heard multiple things there when it was talking to me through the phone. High altitude, since I'm up at about 7,500 feet, it was warning me. High altitude, the air is a little thinner. And it also logged the home point, so that was good. It's getting a little close to these trees, so maybe not the best ground sensing for hovering. Remember, this thing is mainly made to lift heavy loads. So that's how it looks flying in the air with, I want to say about 20 coming from this direction, okay? Here we are. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and watching my videos. Here we are with the Aeroo drone. I hope you enjoy it. This is going to be fun. Stick around for that second battery, because we're going to be lifting stuff with it. Maybe seeing how much it can lift also in another video. So let's just take this guy. Before we go up, I want to just kind of turn it. As you can see, it's kind of wandering from its home point a little bit. I mean, that's okay, but I like to see them as stuck to that as possible. So you can kind of see this is camera auto brightness adjustment. It looks like it's doing a fairly good job. Not the best camera, but there we go. Let's rotate that camera a little bit. Remember, I sped it up in the settings. So there we go. We can look at the launch pad. Kind of interesting color correction going on right now. You guys tell me what you think down below in the comments about this drone. The camera doesn't look that great, but again, this is meant to be a heavy lifter. I don't think it has any obstacle detection or avoidance, so I'm gonna just fly towards myself. Yeah, that bad boy will just crash into whatever it is in its way, so don't think this has any obstacle avoidance or stopping at all. It almost looks like it does. Maybe with their another version they'll come out with that, but see those little guys in there? They almost look like they're sensors, but they're not. I initially thought they might be. So flying in normal mode, let's get out of here. It seems like it's flying fine. Home point has been set. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go up first. I don't know if it has sensors that are looking at the home launch pad, but remember this one does have auto detection for that launch pad. So just to give it the benefit of the doubt, we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll just kind of fly around. It's definitely a smooth flyer. That's yaw rate completely maxed out, turning the head to the left. And then this is our rotating left and right, kind of like strafing forward and back. So really smooth. Remember, we don't have that heavy lift mode on right now. So this is how it's just flying with no weight whatsoever. Let's see what happens when we get close to the ground. It's detecting the ground, not allowing me to go any lower. 3, 2, 1, punch. Ah, pretty slow. Oh, I was turning to the left a little while I was doing that. It's not the best camera. See how it's it's either washed out or too dark as I kind of tilt it down. But that's recording video. We've been recording 5.5 minutes of video so far. You can see the signal strength there is getting low. It's in the orange already. But here we go, moving the camera up and down. That's what our video looks like. Oh, it looks like UPS is showing up, going to the front of the house. Another delivery. I'll have to get that later. Hopefully he doesn't need a signature for it. Anyway, just looking at how the camera is, just really not a good camera at all. But remember, this is mainly just a fishing heavy lift drone. I was trying to look for our speed, and it looked like it was only going 0.2 miles per hour up and down. So it looks like it's going to be a very slow ascending and descending drone here. Looks like we are recording on the bottom left here, 4K 30 frames per second. Just if you're wondering on what this thing records in. While we have the screen recording, I'm going to stop and see if we can change that. So I'm just pressing on the video to stop it. Didn't seem like that stopped it. Yikes. Do I have to press the button on the top of the controller? Maybe if I hold it, let's see. Oh, there we go. I want to try to go into the video and see what we can change on this. So we can go 1080, 2K, or 4K. And just save location is the SD card. That's all we can do. 30 frames per second on everything, guys. So no 60 here. But at least we can do, you know, longer recording. Put it in 1080 if you don't need that 4K resolution. Gonna take a couple of photos here. Let's spin around so we're not taking pictures of the neighbor's house, really. And I'm just going to take a picture of maybe this mountain in clouds. And you guys are going to tell me what you think. So hitting camera to change once. This is the physical button on the left of the controller top. It's not taking a photo. I'm not getting any photo taking at all with pressing. Do I have to press record again? What? All right, guys, a little bit interesting. Nothing I'm doing on single or long presses is taking a photo. Let me try to long press this right record button. A quick press does nothing. A long press gets us to video. That's too bad. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it's taking photos. That was kind of a weird glitch. Now I'm just pressing photo once, and you see how it's taking those pictures. So maybe like a little bit of a connection hiccup. See if we point down and take another photo here. Yep. So maybe the connection for commands to the drone isn't that great at this distance. It just seems like it's a little laggy. I'm not even able to take photos. Boy, you gotta be like right next to it. It's not even taking photos or giving me any indication at this distance. Oh, you can do portrait mode? That's cool. Let's try this. It is not letting me go into it. Please switch the video resolution to 4K. All right, so here's where we're getting a little bit, wow, why is it? It's defaulting over to 1080 for some reason. See how I'm pushing? Look, I'm trying to push it to 4K. And it's going back to 1080 automatically. I don't like that. This is really glitchy. I'm not that high. I mean, I'm 252 feet. I kind of have orange on my signal up there on the top right. You see up here. But I can't even send it commands anymore to record. That's too bad, man. Let's bring it down. All right, let's move this camera down. Bring her down. Request timed out. I don't know what that means. That popped up on the left. So it looks to me like they're going to need to do quite a bit of updating on this thing to get it less frustrating. Okay, let's try to do something now. I really want it to be in 4K. Okay, see, now it's letting me because now it can take that signal because it's close enough. So guys, this seems like a drone that's really gonna have a hard time when you get it far away on sending it commands. Let's try to go, there we go, there's portrait. So there's our portrait view. Let's see if we can take, maybe, can we take pictures in portrait? Nope. It's switched back when I put camera on. So I'm just touching the screen right now to switch between these things. Let's just take a portrait photo. Yeah, the commands are just super laggy. I'm trying to hit portrait. There we go. It's just taking forever. So the communication between the controller, let's take a photo. There we go. Get out of here. You be the judge, guys, of how these photos look. Oh, it's taking video. That's what the video looks like in portrait mode. Not amazing, but if you want to do some social media, maybe you're like fishing or whatever, and you want to have it in this format for a video, go ahead and do it. Anyway, what I was trying to say, guys, is it's super laggy sending commands if it's anywhere far away from me. Like I'm pressing stop on the recording on the screen. That took forever to stop. So here's the menu. I want to go ordinary video. See how it's not sending that command? I tapped on it. Oh, man, come on. Tapping on it again. There we go. Just super laggy. Let's do another photo here. Just a regular photo. It's having trouble right now changing the photo. We can do continuous shooting every 2-3 seconds, all the way up to 8 seconds if you wanted to. Like, say you just wanted to make sure it was getting photos, which you might want to do because this thing has such a bad connection. You can do timed photo and panoramic. Let's see what panoramic looks like. Wow. Okay, let's just try one of these. Do a sphere. Let's get level first. Let's just see how this looks. Take it. I'm just going to let it do this. 48 pictures. Wow. That's going to take a while. So what's our flight time, guys? We're 46%. It looks like the larger font didn't do anything for that tiny little battery voltage up there and percentage. So it's like only some of the text is getting larger. Just app things they have to work out for Android, I guess. Maybe iPhone's a little better, not sure. There is a little stop sign up there on the left, say if I wanted to stop this feature. Good thing is, it seems like it's flying for quite a while. It's not telling us any flight time left, but it is telling us a battery percentage, albeit super tiny up there on the top right. So at least it has quite a bit of flight time. It's like it gives it a time for each picture to get it to focus a bit. It is complete. We can also do 180 vertical. Oh, there's where the vertical camera shots are. So it's in this little side menu. Let's try it. That's weird how it didn't change anything. Oh, so it's just a long vertical, in a vertical form it's stitching together. So I'll have that up too. I don't really want to go too much more into that. Oh, interesting. Here's some more photo mode settings. I just pressed on that little setting icon. H-log, histogram, contrast. Whoa, whoops. At least we can reset it. Saturation, sharpness, grid. Okay, so at least you can do all this stuff here for photo. And then let's try to go back into video and see what we get for the video settings. So as you can see, I'm just pressing on the screen. Hopefully you have a nice view of the mountains while I'm doing this. All right, here's video format. Let's fly out that way. Let's see how fast we can get going. 21 miles per hour. Oh, I didn't even start recording video. Let's just record. See, that's the thing. This connection ain't that great, guys. I'm trying to record video right now, and it's not even sending the video signal. Let's press and hold that. No. So you're going to want to start your recording when you're closer because it's not even sending the signal to record. Request timed out. You see that? I can control it. So the control signal is fairly good. But video kind of choppy at just over 1,500 feet out through some trees, just a couple trees there. And I can't send any commands to it, so that sucks. Let's go ahead and return to home. Okay, at least you can choose these things. Aircraft landing. Nope, we don't want to land in place.
Return to home.
Okay, at least it sent that signal, even though I can't send any other signals for video and stuff. So let's just see where it lands. I mean, we're at like... That went down quick when we started flying out. We're at 19% now. And let's see when we can start recording. There we go. So it's almost like you have to have it in the yellow. You see the signal up there on the controller, on the phone screen, for it to send any like video or picture commands. Because when it was in the orange, it wasn't taking any of my commands. So, you know, just telling it like it is, showing the things it can and can't do, guys. It's pretty clear up here, you know, there's trees, but I'm way up there. Let's let it do its thing and see how close it lands to this home point. I don't know if it's gonna move the camera down on its own. I'm gonna go ahead and move the camera down for it. And there he is coming home. Man, it's gonna land like in that tree. So it didn't work. No, I'm moving it over. Sorry guys. None of that home point landing worked. Whoa. None of that detection worked at all as far as for the launch pad. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's stop recording our video. Gosh, man. So I hate to say it, but I'm not impressed so far. Let's see if we can do maybe let's see, we have 14% battery left. Let's see if maybe we can do a manual takeoff. Is it gonna let us, or is the battery too low? Yep, Aeroo Pro low battery warning came up on the left, so I can't even relaunch at like 14%. It's kind of unfortunate, you know. If you just needed to do a quick launch, maybe it landed somewhere where you can't get to it and you need to arm it. Let's see if we just do one of these things, auto takeoff. Are you sure? Yes. It won't even launch at 14% power. It won't let us do anything else with this battery. Let's go ahead and pop that other battery in and see what else we can do with it. We'll try some drop mechanism tests. All right, guys. Well, that was a fun first flight. There's still more of the flight options I want to try. This thing is supposed to do tracking and all that stuff. So I just wanted to skip to maybe some dropping, using the drop mechanism real quick. and then we'll get back to some of those flight characteristics. This is just one of those little fun, little cheap parachuter guys that, you know, kids use to throw up. I thought this would be maybe a good first attempt. They do give you in the package, as you saw before, all of these great fishing connection rigs. These white things are actually poundage release. So if you go over, I think it's like 3 pounds or something, it'll automatically pull out. So if you wanted that extra security, you're gonna put one of these guys here attached to your line, just in case like you hit a snag or it like hits the cliff, and instead of the line catching on something and just pulling the drone and crashing it, the line will pull out of these little white clips here because it's a poundage tension, right? Or you don't have to use these if you're sure you're not going to have any problems like that. For this parachuter guy, I'm not going to be using any of the clips they provide or this cool long steel line they provide. I'm just going to be using one of these little black rubber bands. They make it pretty easy with this button here on the bottom. Press the button to close it. There we go. See how that's all locked in there? Basically one rubber band going through the other and locking the entire parachuter into place. I'm just gonna go straight up here. Okay guys, I'm just gonna leave the camera down like this and look up at it and drop it. You see this up in the top right corner up here? Hopefully you can see my finger touches. That blue aircraft circle with the box on the bottom. So as soon as we press that, it should release. I think it gives us a, let's see. Okay, it gives us a little sub menu. Save drop point, so that's cool. Let's just yes and drop. Just drop it. Oh, it's not unraveling. Oh man. Dang, my technique wasn't perfect. Well, anyway, let's move the drone over and let's do a return to home and see how accurate it is, okay? I'm just gonna move the drone far enough away so it has to think a bit. Let's do a return to home and try that again. I gotta go find that parachute. So I'm gonna tap on return to home. Yes, return to the takeoff point.
Return to home.
I do like the speech. The application voice is really good. Sounds natural, soothing. So they do have that down. There is a little beep on the controller determining that it is in return to home. And wow, yeah. So, you know, a few feet off. Let's just see the whole landing deal. I know I had to stop it last time over there. Okay, so land safely, turns off the propellers immediately. So we can see how far it landed away from its launch point, and that is 1, 2, approximately 3 feet. You know, maybe not as precise tech as some of the other, or newer tech as some of the other drones, but 3 feet within your launch point, I mean, that's reasonable for a heavy lift fishing drone. I'm not gonna knock it too much for that. There's other stuff that we'll talk about later in the pros and cons that I'm gonna rip on it about, but that's good enough. I'm gonna go find that little parachute, guys, and we'll try that again. Hopefully I can rig it up somehow where it opens, because I think it was just bound up into the rubber band. Something that is slightly strange, guys, every time I disconnect the drone, it always gives me this menu of, do you want it to always access the remote when it's plugged in? So I've already checked this several times, but it always keeps showing up. So it's almost like a little app glitch there. Should be right over here, yep. There he is. Luckily he didn't land in a tree. And let's see the problem here. Yeah, so my rubber band rig just did not release. The 2 rubber bands just kind of bound up. And yeah, that's pretty tight in there. That didn't work, so I'm gonna have to figure something else out here on how to release it and have it unfurl. Close. Yeah, then we just make a loop. Put the parachuter in there. And then when it releases, those 2 ends will just come out. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but yeah, that's what happens sometimes, right? Let's see if this works. All right, guys, launching from the same exact spot by that little plane.
High altitude. Please fly with caution. The home point has been updated. Please be mindful of the new return to home point.
Go back up and try this again. There we go. Camera's all the way down. No idea which way the wind's blowing up there, but where are we at? We're at 100 feet this time. So let's try 100 and see if that parachute will deploy, okay? Here we go. Dropping, and let's drop only. Boom, there it goes. There it goes. Woohoo! Oh, wow, I can't believe I missed the trees. So you can do stuff like that, guys. Of course, this is like super light. He deployed perfectly. That rubber band setup worked perfectly. So let's get back home here, guys. I'm gonna do one more return to home. Interesting where it's not adjusting itself to how it took off. I remember pointing that way when I took off. Now it's pointing that way for some reason. This is actually a little bit more accurate. Look at this. Check out the airplane now. So remember I had it, that's only about a foot away from the center. Right here, I had it launched like this. So interestingly how it does not either face the home point or get its orientation back when it lands. I had it right here when I launched. So that was great accuracy. Who knows, maybe it's getting better as time goes on. It's kind of locking itself in a little better. We've just been in normal this whole time. So we're going to try those advanced modes, maybe some waypoints, and the different flight modes. Another way you can launch it, if you don't want to press this on-screen button on the left, is you're supposed to be able to pull the sticks down and out. There we go.
High altitude. Please fly with caution.
We're just going to launch with the stick pushing up.
The home point has been updated. Please be mindful of the new return to home point.
Okay, as soon as I pushed up, I didn't push it that high, it logged the home point as soon as it lifted. And without me pushing up anymore, that's how high it's hovering. It looks like about 3 feet. Now, this doesn't seem to have any sensors, guys, so probably want to be careful. Let's see what we can do. So if I go, can I draw a box around? Nope, that just takes all this. Do you see all the stuff go off the screen there? So you have, if you just tap slide on the screen, you see how everything goes away, so you can have like a clear view. Kind of drag on the screen, they all come back. Let's go to this AI mode up here. Let's try a waypoint mode. So waypoint mission planning, it looks like you can record where you fly the drone into different waypoints, or you can just plan from the screen. Let's just plan from the screen here. So say you have a designated drop location spot you want. Let's see how this interface is, okay? That's cool, it shows me my flight route here. So let's add a waypoint. If I just click on the screen, click and hold, there we go. Click and hold, set drop point. Okay, so say you have satellite imagery, you know where your reef is out there or whatever, and that's where you want to drop. I just set the drop point by clicking and holding. So let's just go ahead and start this. Too low. So too low to start. You can't start it at less than 5 meters. So let's go up a bit. So you have your whatever attached to it. We'll go up and we'll try to start it. Upload waypoints first. Okay. Interesting. So just not very easy. Let's add here. Let's add a dot here, here, here. And then I did, by clicking and holding, I added that drop point. So I'm not sure what's gonna go on there. Let's see what this focus is. Interesting. Doesn't really tell me what's going on with the focus, but let's just upload this. Apparently you have to upload it first. Sent successfully up on the top left, and let's start it. Drone is about to start waypoint mode. Please have your drone at least 15 feet off the ground. It's above all the trees, except for that one over there. Let's get it up a little higher. Make sure no obstacles in the route. So yeah, no obstacle avoidance, guys. Yes. So I just hit yes. So I'll have the screen up so you can see where the drone's going. Hopefully I can catch it in my hat camera too a little bit. Wow, is that a plane way the heck up there? Yeah. So it's going to waypoint 1. Interesting. I wonder if we can record while we're doing this. I kind of don't even want to go out of this screen. Let's try. Let's click and hold the video button while it's doing this. Yeah, see? It gives me no indication that it's recording. I'm trying to. There it goes. So that may have been a picture. Just taking pictures. My gosh. Oh gosh, I forgot there was a power line over there. Okay, so I didn't set a home point. So it just kind of stopped here at waypoint 3. So be careful of that. It looks like you have to just make sure you bring it back to yourself. So I'm just pulling it up in elevation here. And it will stay there. So it like finished its waypoints and it's just waiting there. Way over there in the sky. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let's try this. Let's go out of this and return to home. Return to takeoff point.
Return to home.
Okay. Remember, I did launch next to that little guy again. Let's see how accurate that is. If I press the back button up here on the top left, I don't want to go to the home screen, but I do want to get out of this screen here. Maybe I will go to the home screen. Let's continue. Yep. Go back into device. Okay, so it was recording video.
The home point has been updated. Please be mindful of the new return to home point.
It would be nice if you were in that flight path mode. It would tell you that it's recording a video or not. So there's our another return to home, and that one's landing another 3 feet away from that plane. So anyway, that's roughly how you do the waypoints. Initially, I wasn't able to track, and I'm not sure why, but I just wanted to try it one more time, and here we go. So we're gonna go into AI mode, and remember this follow mode here. I'm not sure if it was because I was too low or it just wasn't accepting my screen touches. I'm not sure why, but you see how now it's got like this little blue reticle. Click on me here. Okay, and now let's see if the head's gonna track me. Awesome, yes it is. Cool, drone is moving around up there. Click go to open. All right, so we can do orbit and trace. Remember, this thing doesn't have any obstacle avoidance, so if we do an orbit, we're gonna need to get above all the trees. And let's try an orbit. So we'll go orbit there. Go ahead and move it up a little bit. So very similar to other interfaces. And we'll press go. Man, I really hope it doesn't hit any trees. That's why it's so important to have obstacle avoidance if you can. So I'm gonna leave it in orbit. Whoop. Okay, so it lost me there. So it really doesn't have any kind of retrack and movement. It'll just immediately go out of the mode, but it will go back into noticing me. So that's kind of unfortunate. There's like no anticipation on tracking. What I want to do, guys, is I want to record here, start a video and do this. And so you guys can see how good or bad the video is. Let's go up and back a little more, maybe so it won't lose us while it's orbiting. And hit go. So I'll have the video up on the screen as well while it's doing this. It's definitely gonna lose me here. So unfortunately, that's what you get with this drone. No kind of anticipation, retrack. At least it didn't stop recording though. and it did lock back onto me, which is good. So that's kind of what you can expect. A little bit of video up there for you. And it actually, while I'm in view, it's staying locked onto me really good. It recognizes the human form, so that's awesome. Let's try a trace. So I'm going to click on trace there. And orbiting flight radius is too small. It took a while for the go to light up. I'm going to hit go. Okay, and now it's tracing me. So it should follow me. I'm not touching the controls here. And it is following, good. I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit. Remember, no obstacle avoidance, so don't bring it too low, and then let's try to do a little bit of jogging in the driveway here. Oh, that's cool. So it's just gonna back up. A lot of drones, they wait till you pass them and they follow you from behind, but this one is kind of stuck in a trace mode. But it's still turning its head as long as you're in front of it, which is cool. Let's see what happens if I walk down here through the trees. If it does that immediate losing thing, or if it can. That's actually not a bad recognition. That's keeping me visual, locked on in the shadows and everything. Let's see if it actually goes down this hill. Height 34.4 feet. Oh, it lost me in the trees. Okay. Let's see if it at least locates me. If I walk under here, yes, it did. But, oh, okay. So if you're recording, look at that. And it's in this mode. I'm still walking. I'm not telling it to go or anything. And it's still kind of tracking me. Let's see if I walk under it. Spinning around, actually kind of nice, but any kind of tree branch or disruption is going to just lose you immediately. Okay, so it's using some kind of smart technology algorithm to detect people figures, which is good. So it's staying locked in the air. If you want to have an aerial tripod, guys, here you go. Let's see how far we can bring this down and it still tracks as a tripod. If it shuts off the mode or what it will do. I'm full stick down. Really slow up and down drone here. Okay, check it out. That's as low as it'll go. Okay, guys? We are about 12 feet high, 13 feet high. You're gonna leave it without pressing go if you want it to be like a tripod. Now see what it's doing? This is the parallel mode, sorry about that. It's keeping its orientation in the sky, and all it's doing is tracking me. See, if I was to go to the left, it would hit that tree. No obstacle avoidance. Don't want to do that. Yeah, anyway. So it seems like it's doing pretty good. Let's go ahead and pick it up a little higher. Did we miss anything with follow mode? Let's try the satellite follow again. Return immediately. It accepted that. But it's just sitting there. This is lackluster intuitive right here. I have no idea what's going on. Hide. Maybe that's just putting it in GPS mode instead of image tracking mode. Maybe it's a combination of both. Let's see. Oh, it reversed the controls. Okay. So I'm pulling the stick down and it's coming closer to me. You see that? So it's almost like it's just tracking the controller. But it's not moving the head or anything. So maybe if you're having trouble tracking with the image, it's just not that accurate and great. See how it's not really keeping me in view? And that just gets you back into that mode. So maybe for like a boat where it doesn't know what it is, you could use that, and then just, you got to control the head a little better. It's not as precise as the vision sensing, right? Let's see if I go a little. Yeah, it's working. It's just triangulating like the phone and controller to it. So you don't really have any of those image recognition modes in this. So it took me a while to get that working, but it does work. Just like I said, it's just kind of like not super intuitive. Let's see if we wanted to do this and then do an orbit. Can we do that if we just kind of roll to one side? Wow, it's cutting out all rolling. Look at this. I'm trying to roll it left and right, won't do it. I can move it up and
Low
down.
battery warning. The drone will return to home soon.
Canceling return to home as usual. So very cool, but it's just limited stuff you can do. I can turn the head wherever I want, and it's still tracking my GPS point, which is cool. It just will not turn the head on its own. It doesn't seem much. Yeah, so you got to be kind of more in control with this GPS point tracking, okay? And it seems a lot slower. Look how slow that is to kind of back up. I can still control my camera completely though. So anyway, very cool guys. Let's see, return to home here, get back home, and we'll kind of do a final pros and cons. It's kind of interesting how it returns to home and adjusts its head. It's like, it doesn't really have any rhyme or reason to which direction it's facing its head. I don't know why. That doesn't really make sense to me. Hey, buddy. Landed that one at 8%. It was a little confusing on how to do a drop point. I didn't really like that. I kind of want to do that one more time. We're going to do another waypoint route here, guys. Let's try this one more time. Back into like the mapping mode. You can also do line drawing. Let's try this. Oh, cool. We'll just go boom. And it automatically plots waypoints for you. That's cool. Let's tap on it. So you can adjust your height and your hover time for each waypoint. Let's do this. Let's set a drop point way out here. And let's click on it to change the settings. Let's make the height higher. Let's make the speed really fast. Go. Okay, well there you go. You don't have to upload that. If you just want to do one drop point, this sucker is now going up. And it's going to fly straight out to that drop point. And let's keep an eye on the... Let me see if I can rotate the camera down. I wish we could see the camera here. There it is. Okay, look at that. Awesome. So I just tapped on this little guy. Okay, you can tap. That's pretty cool. So I'm keeping an eye on the top right. Release payload. Oh, okay. Let's see if it will release on its own without any human interaction. I don't know why that screen popped up. Let's let it go. It doesn't seem like it released. Look, this thing is still blue. Yeah, it's going to need human interaction to drop. Drop only. It's hard to say if it dropped or not. See how this guy's still blue up here? You would think it would be gray if it dropped, so it's hard to know unless you have your camera on and you're looking at this right here and you have something you're dropping. But at least you can do that, you know, that's kind of neat. Let's bring the camera back up. I think that's enough. We definitely figured out how to at least look at the different screens just by this little guy here. We can go compass, map, or the video. If you click on it, like other drones, you can swap in between. Okay, let's do a return to home before this battery gets too low to takeoff point. Awesome.
Return to home.
So walking through that whole thing, at least we got a couple of ideas on what we can and can't do. And the main thing to me was it's just a little bit cumbersome. It is a pretty cool looking drone. It's all blacked out, kind of matte black. A little noisy. And shut off. Yeah. a little noisy, but that's what you can expect for drones with this size propellers and that can lift weight. This is definitely not a stealth drone aside from the color. I know I said I wasn't going to do a max load test, but we gotta pick up something that's kind of heavy, right, with this thing in the first review. So here's my little boy Taika's kind of, this is the truck he uses to put all of his Hot Wheels little trucks in and Monster Jam little mini trucks. This thing, I think it weighs about 2 pounds. I have a scale right here, so let's go ahead and turn this bad boy on, zero it out, and just see how much this weighs, and then try to lift it with that drone. All right, let's let it settle in here. Just about 2.3 pounds, okay? 2.31. I'm gonna use the provided kind of long cable they gave us. Put this right in there. There we go. Nice and sturdy. Maybe I'll just let it kind of launch with this hanging off the back, and then we'll go ahead and attach this when it's up in the air. The propellers, they're just really super loose on here. So it seems like it does kind of, the inertia from initial takeoff does kind of whack around a bit. Let's go ahead and launch this bad boy.
High altitude. Please fly with caution.
All right.
The home point has been updated. Please be mindful of the new return to home point.
I believe I do already have it in the heavy lifting mode. We'll just kind of attach it. This guy right here. Go up a bit. Let it loose. Oh yeah. So there it is. You can definitely hear that sound has picked up, and it's going to eat the battery quick. I'm going to punch it up. Able to lift that no problem. Let's get this camera down and see the truck dangling here. There we go. So we got a center view of what we're carrying. That's awesome. And it seems like that heavy lifting mode is really keeping it from swaying too much. Bring her down a bit. Letting off. Oh yeah, this sucker's powerful. So let's kind of just move it around a bit. That's full throttle forward. Stable enough. So remember in the settings, it is in that mode there. Was it in controls? Yeah, so payload stability mode is on right there, just so it kind of helps it be more stable. Let's see how that works. I'm gonna bring it back fast. Starts off slow, letting off. Wow. Show you that one more time, back up. Let off. So it does a really good job at keeping itself centered, even with 2.3 pounds here. Can we go into different modes? Sport mode, I gotta go higher than 5 meters. Film mode, normal mode. I'm just pressing this button on the controller and you can see on the screen. This is like expert sport mode. Oh my gosh. Probably don't want to be using this mode much. It's not going much faster on the initial acceleration. Let's try to get it to sway a bit. Woo! Sway that sucker. Okay, now let's let it settle in. Nice. Very good. I'm gonna go back to just kind of normal mode. There we go. We're already at 68%. Let's do a quick little test flight out here. I'm gonna go out here a ways. Not on the trails, but I just want to get out here. I don't want to hit the telephone lines. Whew. Make sure I'm high enough. We'll go up. So there's our truck. I'll have the video of the drone up. I'm out there a bit and I'm already at, let's see, 63% power. So it's gonna eat power really quick. I'll tell you what, guys, let's just do a drop. Let's just get a little closer and do a drop on a tree. I don't wanna break my son's truck, but I just wanna show you dropping something heavy. You know, the range isn't gonna be that great, it looks like. Let's do a return to home real quick so we can get closer. What I haven't done yet
Return to home.
I haven't tried to cancel the return to home. So let's try that when we get back. We'll let it come on back. Wow, look at that thing up there. Oh my gosh. You guys see that? I hope you can see it. We'll let it kind of come down. Wow, there's a bird like way the heck up there. We'll let it come down and then we'll try to cancel this. Cancel, cancel.
Cancel return.
Okay, it said cancel return. I couldn't press it on the screen, but I just pressed it on the controller. So let's do a quick little drop test, guys. I still gotta try all those other flight modes. All right, I'm gonna drop it on a tree. Drop it on this tree over here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Woo! Kind of getting some breeze. It kind of messes with it a little bit. So I'm gonna go right over this tree so it doesn't damage the truck. And I'm gonna go a little higher. I think that'll be good. Okay, so let's try to do a drop. So make sure we're over the tree. A little to the left maybe. You can see it wandering up and down a bit. It's kind of doing that on its own. So we'll go about right there. I'm gonna go ahead and press the drop and drop only, pressing now. Yes, oh, okay. That drone just got a lot quieter, dude. Woo. I don't even know if I want to hand catch this. There's a couple more things I wanted to try. If we're just pulling down and landing, when it detects the ground, see how it won't go down anymore? If I hold it down, it's gonna land. I want to see if I can cancel. Yes, I can. I'm gonna do a hand catch, guys. Wish me luck. Reaching in the bottom, grabbing, pulling down on the controller.
Landing.
Okay, good. So you can catch this thing, and that's what I wanted to test, because if you're on the shoreline, rocks and stuff, and you just don't have a solid place to land, then you want to make sure that you can hand launch and hand catch. So let's even try a hand launch. I wouldn't recommend doing this unless you know what you're doing. So I'm going to press hand launch, and as soon as I press yes, a little bit hard to do on the controller, it should go for it. Pressing yes now. All right, that was easy. As easy as a DJI drone.
Please be mindful of the new return to home point.
How much power do we have left? 35%. Okay, I have this thing to return to home if it gets too low. I'm gonna record and I'm gonna fly out this way to this peak. We're gonna go into some different modes here. Expert mode, okay. Remember, we already saw how fast it could go in normal mode. So I'm just flying in expert mode right now. We are going 35 miles per hour. Let's see what our upward speed is. Only like a half a mile an hour. Going up, coming down in expert. Very slow, 0.2. Battery is low. Let's go into, you see how fast this thing is yawing? Look at this. It's just all over the place, quick. And there is our, at least the camera is keeping it pretty stable. I'm yawing really hard, or I'm rolling really hard to the right and left. You can see the compass there. It has a great horizon line in the blue, and it's showing what the drone is doing on the bottom left. Let's put it really quick in film mode and see how fast it is. A lot slower, the head turning left and right, that's full speed. And then here's our roll rate. So rolling to the right, super slow. So if you want to do some filming, I'd recommend putting it in this mode, even though the camera isn't that great. Let's do full throttle forward. And it's only going 6 miles per hour, about, gradually going faster. 6.5 in film mode, okay? That's kind of like the cine mode in other drones. Let's go ahead and punch it up in film mode, see how fast we get going. Initially peaks at like 3, but then it's not even picking up a mile per hour on the vertical speed. Coming down, pulling it all the way down. Okay, so it's actually mixing the forward and vertical speed on that bottom left mile per hour. I have to be off the sticks going forward to get any kind of reading to know how I'm going down. So that's kind of interesting. Giving me a few warnings. Okay guys, I just had to change my hat cam battery. That's what happens when you have such a long video like this. So we're super low, we're at 17% power, and it's still just hovering out there. I just let it hover. The controller is doing like a once in a while beep, kind of warning me it's low. I kind of want to make sure it will come back. Let me go back into normal mode. And I'm going to kind of fly out here, you know, maybe somewhere where I know I can get it. Like on a trail or something.
Low battery.
Oh, here we go.
The drone will return to home soon.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to test. You see that? So if you just wait, kind of like other drones,
Return to home.
it will just return. You can cancel that obviously, but I really don't want to cancel that because I haven't tested this fully. So it looks like at 15%, it's going to come home if it's close. And I'm hoping that that would change if it's farther out. We'll have to test that in the range test, right? So we're going to do a range test on this drone too. So keep subscribed to the channel, guys. Subscribe if you're not, if you want to see more videos on how this thing performs in all different scenarios, range testing. We're going to do that heavy payload test too, maximum. See if it can lift more than 3 pounds for a while. So returning to home right there. The funny
Cancel
thing is,
return.
oh, there it goes. The return to home on the screen on the phone is super small, and it took me a few times tapping that little red dot to cancel it. So that's a little bit weird, and that's what I'm finding as one of the cons with this drone, is it's just kind of a quirky app. Stuff that they probably need to work on, and we'll go over all that in the pros and cons. I'm just being as thorough as I can. So there's the camera. Let's go ahead. I think we tested everything I wanted to. Maybe we'll do a maximum flight on this. Just see how long it can fly and what it does when it runs out of battery power. I'm okay with, you know, possibly hurting one of these batteries to do this.
Serious low battery warning. The drone is about to land automatically.
Okay, you hear that? I'm going to cancel the landing. So it has those fail safes, those stages of fail safes. Return to home, low battery. Landing, low battery.
Battery energy is about to run out. Over discharge will damage the battery.
Okay, over discharge will damage the battery. You hear that? So let's see, let's just drop it low, just in case it decides to fall out of the sky. That's kind of as low as I can get. Can't pull down anymore unless we're gonna land. Let's just get it really low. And then just see how long this battery can last. We're at 3% up there on the top right of the screen. Really hard to see because those numbers are so tiny. Even though I increase the font size, it doesn't increase some of the things. All right. So hopefully,
Landing.
pushing up.
No battery power remains.
All right.
Force landing.
All right, guys, at 1%. But at least you can save your video. It's gonna land at 1%. I could not push up. I didn't try to push left and right. I should have done that. But it gives you a good idea of what you're gonna expect when your battery runs out. And so guys, that was great. I think we did almost everything possible. This battery is super low. I'm gonna throw this on the charger, guys. ASAP. Listen to this.
USB disconnected.
It even says it when it's disconnected. I really don't know why this keeps coming up though, about the controller when you plug in. That's a little glitch. Anyway, let's get back to the table. I'm gonna throw this battery on the charger ASAP. Let's run through the full pros and cons and hash out how this entire flight test did with this thing. Okay guys, wow, that was fun, wasn't it? So the Aeroo drone, I mean, it does what it says it's supposed to do mainly, which is it can lift heavy weight. You know, we did 2.3 pounds on the truck. That all worked great with the drop mechanism, worked great. So let's go through the pros and cons here. Let's talk a little bit about the tracking and stuff. I'm glad I tried it a second time. It seemed to not work the first time for some reason. I don't know, maybe it was just a touchscreen problem I was having, but I tried it again and it worked pretty good. It does have pretty good image recognition, but it's not like DJI drones where if it loses you behind a bush, it's not gonna like keep anticipating your movement and retrack you. It's just gonna immediately stop tracking, sit there, and then it will detect you again, but you have to intervene on the app and retrack. Orbiting worked well. You would have seen the video pop up there of how smooth the orbiting was in 4K. It had that parallel and kind of trace tracking mode where it would just, you know, fix itself in there and then it would move. And it also actually had a tripod mode. If you didn't press go and you were recording, it just sits there in the sky and just tracks you and just stays there like a tripod. And you can put it anywhere in the sky. So essentially kind of like a bonus feature of a tripod mode. The other tracking mode was more like that GPS track your controller and phone mode, where it wasn't using any of the image tracking on the camera. And it was a little bit wonky, didn't let you roll the drone at all, but you had to kind of move the camera left and right and up and down to keep you in track. So say maybe you wanted to track a car or another form that it couldn't recognize with the image sensing, that would be a good option, although you are gonna have to intervene there with the controls to get it just perfect. And you saw the limitations on height, like you can't go very low when you're tracking. Keep in mind, really important, this thing doesn't have any obstacle avoidance. It will be nice if they can possibly have obstacle avoidance sensors in here. These look like they do nothing, although they do look like they are sensors or there's slots for them. So maybe that will be in the Aeroo 2. It is not going to avoid anything on the top half here. So keep that in mind. This thing does have an LED light on the bottom on auto in the settings. So that's going to turn it off and on auto, or you can do that manually if you wanted to. Controller, it looks like a rebranded Hubsan controller, and it almost looks like it's using the same type of transmittal technology. Nothing really special here. That's probably one of its weaker points. Transmit technology and also the app quirkiness. You know, we saw that when you kind of went kind of far, it really didn't take commands if you're trying to do on-screen commands like stop and start recording. As for how long the controller lasted, that was a few batteries there we put through, and I still have 3 lights on my controller. Remember the automated flight planning that we did? At least you can adjust settings on each waypoint. If you just want to do a drop point, you can do that, but then it will just, seems like it'll just sit out there. A little bit quirkiness, and the user interface was not as user-friendly as I thought it would be. The user interface is really important and ease of use on these types of drones, because if it's buried and somebody can't figure out how to do it just by on-screen instructions, they're gonna kind of get turned off. Of course, the noise on the drone, it's gonna be louder than most. You could hear it when we put that truck on there carrying 2.3 pounds. It was really loud, and that's just the norm. Motors and propellers are spinning harder, working harder, and you're just gonna get that air noise. The camera was another kind of lackluster feature here. It worked okay, but nothing special, you know, something I would expect again from something like maybe the Hubsan brand. You guys will be able to see the pictures and the videos I took in this review. Pros, this drop mechanism is fantastic, how you can just press this button. This is a very thin piece of metal going across the mechanism, but it didn't seem to matter because it's so short and it's supported on both sides. Obviously, we're gonna do the max lift test in the next video, so stay tuned for that and see how much over 3 pounds we can lift. It didn't even feel like it was dogging it that much. You could hear the motors, like I said, the sound really ramped up. But as far as its flight performance, when it was lifting this 2.3 pound truck and flying around, no problem. It wasn't swaying too much. It seemed like it was sticking in the air good. It wasn't out of control. We dropped the truck on the tree and that worked good. At least a little demo of something heavy there for you. We did the parachute guy first. That was kind of a learning experience for me on how to get those rubber bands wrapped around there perfectly, but that worked. So I want to do more on this thing as far as maybe a search and rescue scenario for a search and rescue drone, because I know that you can see the coordinates in the map screen. So if we wanted to drop, say, a safety kit or water, one of the FEMI drones, the X8 drones, I did a search and rescue deal with that. This doesn't have a speaker on it, but at least you can drop supplies to people in need or search for them and drop supplies. And that's another thing we're going to test is how far will this go with a range test. So I want to do a full-fledged range test on this thing. I have a feeling that it's not going to be that great. If it's kind of on the Hubsan par of technology here, I'm thinking maybe not as great, obviously, as something like the DJI drones that use the OcuSync technology. It's definitely not up to that par. I don't want to talk too soon about it because I want to test that in a range test, which will also be coming up. I think the accessories are great for what you get for a fishing drone to get you started. Oh, that was another thing. Remember that auto detect landing pad didn't seem to work when I tried it that one time in the forest over there. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe an update. As far as the bag goes, perfect. You know, we have our camera gimbal guard here. Drone fits perfectly in there, protects everything. We have a bunch of pockets, extra propellers, accessories, and I wouldn't have asked really for anything more, except remember, this thing is not waterproof. You might be able to fly it in a little bit of a light rain. I think that's what Aeroo was telling me, the company, but not waterproof. There are other drones that if you want them to be waterproof, you can buy. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy that. Let me know down below in the description down there if you have any comments or questions about this thing, or if there's any other tests you'd like to see me do with this. One of the things I'm noticing as I'm talking is the center of gravity on the drop mechanism is perfectly centered, it looks like. A lot of the drones, like the FEMI X8, they had this slide-in drop mechanism where it was all the way to like the back left or back right where the release mechanism was, and it made one of the motors work harder and overheat. This one is perfectly in the center, so all 4 motors seem to be lifting the load perfectly. And that is well thought out, especially for a fishing drone or a high lift drop mechanism drone like this. Anyway, guys, had lots of fun with it. Lots more to come with the Aeroo drone. A couple of negatives, a couple of positives. You be the judge. I just tell it like it is. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Hey Aeroo, if you're listening, can you please make it easier to remove the SD card? This is after doing it several times, and look how hard it still is to remove this. Oof, ouch. It's just almost impossible. There we go, and then I like how it clicks in and out with the finger. The goodness stops there, so we have to use these tweezers or another tool. And the tweezers just do not grip it. So sometimes it's the little things, you know? You put in a better pair of tweezers, or you just make the card easier to come out somehow, and you'll just have a much better customer experience. Then you're trying to get this card out, and if your SD card snaps, you lose all your footage, right? So you just can't get the thing out. Then you'll be really pissed off. Maybe, guys, some rubber tipped tweezers, because it's just sliding with this plastic. My gosh, why is this so difficult? Come on. I'm gonna have to get something else to get this out. Anyway, that's definitely a con.